Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome back to Cash Talks Football, where I break down all the goals scored in the Premier League, using my over 20 plus years of coaching experience and doing vast other things in football coaching and many different experiences. I'm breaking down Brentford against awful Chelsea, who should be doing better. I'm going to add in a couple of things because I normally just cover the goals. But I had some more coaching points in, just random things to hopefully pick up some other points for you. And right now I'm going to focus on Nicholas Jackson because I give him a hard time because he's awful at the finishing. But he here has made a great little run and the ball's been played into this little wee chap. Comes in, dosh, and he's just helping it on through this gap here. But what I want you to watch is when he goes through, why Jackson doesn't score this goal. So I'm just going to grab it here and not play it because Cash is still under a copyright strike at the moment, so it's very hard for me to play things like I normally would do. But this is the point where he gets through, he needs to finish it. And the reason he doesn't finish it is because he's got lack of confidence in himself and a lack of belief. And then what ends up happening is because he doesn't have the courage to just slot it past him, because every time he's tried that recently, he's made a mistake. You've just got to keep doing it. If you're a striker, like a classic example of a striker that misses more chances and goals currently in the Premier League is that Darwin Núñez character. He still goes and he still tries and he still tries and he still makes the mistake. It doesn't matter how many people get on your back, right? That's what a strong character does. You just ignore it and you keep going. If he starts believing he's a bad striker, he's going to be a bad striker. He's going to miss these chances, and he's missed just as many as Darwin Núñez. But not only that, let's watch his little first touch as he goes past the guy here. Look, dosh, look at how bad that first touch is. He hasn't pushed it either past the keeper, like over here. So when he's hit that little first touch there, he hasn't put it into a good space so his next touch can be a strike. He has to take an additional touch because he hasn't really put it past the keeper. So now he has to take another touch. Do you see that? He has to take two touches to round the keeper instead of one solid touch. If you look at my Rasmus Højlund's video the other day, I think he did it well for Man United. He puts a solid first touch, so his next touch can be a strike on goal. Now this guy's had to take 1, 2, and now his third strike, and his body shape's a bit wrong. So when he hits it, he's all over the place, and also he's hit it at the back of his foot. He's almost hit it on his heel. Look, when he hits this ball, he hits it wrong. He hits it on his heel there. Dush, do you see? Look, he doesn't hit it right on top of his instep there, at the front part of his foot, because he's probably not left-footed. Every time I say someone's left-footed, they're right-footed, and right-footed, they're left-footed. Yeah, thanks, comment section. You're the best. But there's no power on the ball, and obviously the extra touches made it easy to get back and defend and get off the line. Come on, you can do better. Now we're going to talk about his goal, because Nicholas Jackson's run there was actually quite a decent run. He's kept himself onside, received it, just his finishing is rubbish. This is a good goal he scores. He glides in for a header here, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But what I want you to focus on is these three Muppets right here. Okay, that's going to be our focus. There's one football for them to win. As you can see, there's two players here. What are you doing? Nothing. What are you doing? Nothing. And what are you doing? Nothing. There is no actual pressure on the ball here for these guys to make a decision. So you've got an active runner. He's played the ball in. Active runner. What he probably wants to do is come back here and cover. So you'd have 1, 2, 3. That way he could squeeze and he could squeeze, and he's providing the balance and the cover at the same time. To be honest, actually, he's providing the balance. We won't worry about that. That would be the actual shape we really want. But we want him to come there. The reason we're talking about him coming there is because can you see this runner? We're trying to block that pass off before it happens. So you're anticipating that and coming in here to stop anything coming into this channel here, providing there's pressure from these two players. But there's no pressure whatsoever on this ball. So look, do you see this? Look. Oh, look, it happened in the Premier League. Someone put their arm up, and we know immediately someone puts their arm up, telling someone what to do in the Premier League, someone is about to score a goal. He now thinks he's doing a job, right? Because he's a muppet. He thinks because he's got a player next to him, he's marking and doing something, so he's telling somebody else what to do. He is the closest person to this football, and he needs to get on it as fast as possible, and he doesn't because he's too busy pointing and telling, yes, I'm pointing and telling someone what to do in the Premier League, and we know immediately when that happens, someone's going to score a goal. Puts his foot through it, bosh, and as it goes, now this is the other disappointing thing, Jackson just made a run through on his own, right? Had the ball received. Okay, he made a mistake because his first touch wasn't good enough. His second touch was terrible and his finish was awful, but his run was quality. But this time his run is quality again. And now he doesn't have to do anything. He's glided behind these two centre-backs. They're nowhere near close enough for him to him here. As he comes up, dosh, in he comes and just heads it into the corner of that box. It's a good little finish. Off he goes. Both centre-backs need to be doing better. Both could be marking him, but there's no pressure on the ball. There's so many little mistakes here going on, and you can see though that player, he thinks he's doing his job because he stood next to a Chelsea player and he's completely forgot the ball. He's not doing anything, and he's not doing anything. It's just overall awful. Oh, so what I was saying is why I wanted that player to come in, okay, the reason why is because as this player here to come in, as he pressures the ball, you see, he'll come in and cover that space where he originally was, and it all works out perfectly. That's what I'm talking about. You have to sort of think about what you're doing. If you're behind the ball, but if you're the first person onto the ball, you need to think about winning the ball. Person behind, think about how to help and cover him. But let's get on to the next goal. There's a calamity of errors going on here, but this goal that Chelsea concedes sums up Chelsea Football Club right now and what they're doing. They just don't seem to be caring about what's going on the field. Look, this ball gets played in behind over the top. As it goes in, look, Poch, bump. It's allowed to bounce. And from here, you can see there's not really much going on. There's not much, trouble that they can get in. But yet Chelsea managed to get themselves in all sorts of trouble because they don't really deal with this little first ball here. And then this awful up and under smash into the box is just not dealt with. So this ball was smashed from over here, bump from over this guy over here, whoop, and it's travelling to here. Now, honestly, your keeper needs to be coming for that and claiming it because it's such a long loop in the air. He has all the time to judge it. He can step up and catch it. He's so far back on the line, it's embarrassing. Now, here's the other thing. You've got two players running this way. Now, this is another problem with coaching because what they'll be telling the players to do is don't kick the ball out of bounds, play the ball, blah, 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 get the ball down and pass it at every opportunity out of the back. When sometimes what the right response is to do is to get your foot and smash it out for a corner and then defend the corner. They don't decide to do that. So when this ball comes down here, watch what happens. Boom. The keeper's backing up on his lines. Both these guys miss it. And now he's just receiving the ball here. But this is the point I want to talk about the laziness and the apathy that's going on in Chelsea Football Club. So now what happens is this, right? Everybody else, right, this guy's going to shoot. The rest of Brentford are following in because they want to play football. The rest of Chelsea kind of sit, wait and watch. And you watch their their reaction when this goal goes in, right? So as this goes forward, Poch, he goes to take a shot, takes a bit of a ricochet, but look, this guy's alive to it. He's not. He's already running. You can see how many Brentford players are getting forward, and the Chelsea players aren't even getting back goal side behind the ball. Look, these two have kicked. That's bloody same guy that was arguing the other day in the cup final. They've all just stood. No, everybody needs to be getting back and getting behind the, in front of the ball, get behind the ball, and no one's doing that. Dosh, little hit, and now look, this situation. He's waiting for the keeper to come. No one's taking responsibility. You can see it. He doesn't just kick the ball out. Doesn't just defend. And this goes back to the root cause of a lot of goals in the Premier League when everyone's trying to play hipster football and pass the ball out, blah, 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 blah. It says, mate, just smack it out. Just smack the ball out. But then what ends up happening is panics, he falls over, the other guy just comes running in and kicks it in the goal. The keeper could have got it, he could have got it. And then look at the reaction. This guy's just got his arms out going, yeah, well, mate, what are you doing? Of course, what's he doing? There's just no one's in control, no leaders. This guy's got his arm up. Yeah, but mate, you've not been doing anything. You should have been back when you were the left back over here for that bouncing ball that you didn't defend properly. Overall, it's just awful. And you can see the blame game going on. You can see people just looking at each other going, well, no one's trying. Yeah, it's going to get worse, I think. It's going to get worse. It's a shame because I actually put Chelsea in my top 4 predictions. Well, Cash is allowed to be wrong once in a while. Okay, so this is one of the other things I want to comment on here as well. And this is... this guy's just busted his nut, getting all the way down the wing, and he's crossed this ball. He's done a great job. Now, it's a simple tap in because the ball's coming to this guy here. His body shape is, he's facing his own goal, so he's not concerned. This guy just needs to just slot it in there, but you've got a man running onto it. Now, here's the other problem. This man, Cole Palmer, thinks he's better than Nicholas Jackson. I'm going to tell you that for a fact. That's what he thinks in his head. He thinks he's better than probably everybody on the football field. That's how he thinks, okay? Because he's a footballer. He's got a bit of talent. He's been around a bit. And now he opts to take this shot. And as he does, what he ends up doing is completely whiffing it. Because he's running in, misses the target, doesn't let it go through to the wee man there. By the way, that guy could have just played a 1-2 straight back to him, and he could have just walked into the net. But he tries to take it on his own, completely makes a hash of it. And that's another thing that's going on there at Chelsea. It's like, okay, well, he doesn't trust his teammate to take the shot. He doesn't trust that guy to do it, so he's overstretched for the ball, made a bad contact on it and put it wide. Instead of just slowing his run down, letting this guy take a touch and slot it into the corner, or take a touch and give it to you as you carry on your run. No trust in the team whatsoever. What's about to happen, everybody? Let's ask in the comments. He's raised his hand and telling someone what to do on the field. Let's guess what's about to happen in the Premier League. This guy's completely unmarked, which is fine. He just needs to make sure he gets there if he's giving him that much space. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Back 5, and you aren't wide enough over here because they're that bad. Your spacing there is okay. That's okay. That isn't, and that isn't. And there's the mistake. And that's why this guy's got so much spare, space over here. The problem, you've got so many problems with playing a back 5 as well. Yeah, I won't even start going into it because basically you've got too many cooks. So you don't know who's in charge of doing what and in what areas. So everyone keeps getting in each other's way. And that's why you get those mistakes when no one really knows what ball they're going for because they don't really have proper roles distinguished. So when he puts out, look, he points, this guy doesn't go because he doesn't read the situation. And why doesn't he read the situation? Because they're playing with a back 5 and he doesn't assume that this guy's right behind him, which he is. And if he knew that, he would have already been out there. If he was playing as a regular right back, he'd already been out there. But this is a complete and utter disaster. So now this guy gets a free cross, and which he does. He puts in a nice little free cross, takes a touch, and whacks it across. So again, I'm going to talk about roles and responsibilities of the back 5. Look at the midfield again. The midfield, you can see the gap now where their midfield have broken the line and gone forward. But also, look, you've got all 5 of their players now marking 2. And that's why 2 people end up going for the same header and the ball ends up dropping to a Brentford player right here in the box because they don't know what they're doing. There's too many people back there. No one's really responsible. People are jumping in each other's way. And then these guys back here aren't doing their jobs as well because they haven't tracked any one of these players here, which is absolutely awful. Then we have a bit of wonder. Oh, this is brilliant. This guy goes, bah! Completely messes up his first touch. This guy goes, don't worry, mate. I'll make up for it. Whoppa! And he doesn't count for a goal unless he uses sound effects. If he does, he gets 2 points. Definitely, it's 2 points. Let's go on to the next goal. Okay, so this all comes from this corner, but I want you to watch something I've been noticing more and more in the Premier League. No one knows how to defend whatsoever. Look at their shoulders, they're facing the ball. Look at their shoulders, they're facing the ball. Look at their shoulders, facing the ball. No one is marking these 2 players. No one's even knowing that they're there. So which way how they should be facing? This is how they should be looking. Their shoulders should be flat here, and they should be looking down the field that way. That way they can see the ball, and they can see the player they want to mark. Should be a guy here facing with his shoulders, so we can see the player, and he can see the ball at the same time. That isn't happening here. Look, you've got 1, 2, 3 players not doing anything. Like, who are you marking, mate? What are you doing? It's just awful football right here. Absolutely terrible defending. Another situation here where these people aren't putting pressure on the ball and you're letting 2 people do whatever they want straight from the corner. So when this ball comes across to the back post, it's no wonder they get a goal because there's 2 players unmarked and these guys don't even know they're there. They're not even looking. Look, backing up, 1, 2, 3. No one is even trying to mark these 2. Absolute no one. So when he just smashes his crosser, all he's got to do is get it to them because the keeper's too far forward on the front post and then he just heads it in the back post. It's that simple. Just complete and utter poor defending there from, well, pretty much everything. But I'll see you next time on Cash Yells at Premier League Footballers.